It's 1 a.m. in 2004. I'm 18 years old. I'm solo under the bridge, halfway between North Melbourne and Spencer Street stations, the entry point to the CBD from the west, via Docklands. Behind me are wind tunnel landscapes and cheap schmick towering apartment buildings, thin glass beehives, fire traps in waiting. I'm also a fire trap in waiting, crouched in front of the hole in the cyclone fence I just cut through with my mini bolt cutters the size of my forearm. The two trains are 50 metres across the tracks in front of me, with one carriage each under the bridge, protected from the rain. Cars blur past on the road down the slope behind me. It's midwinter and pouring rain. I'm sweating in my black Columbia jacket. I check, double check, triple check my paint. 2 Dulux Golds, 2 Dulux Flat Blacks, 1 Dulux Sky Blue, 1 Belton White, 1 Pastel Green Belton, nozzles on. The rain is comforting, cause the security will be less willing to walk around the yard, unless they're hiding in the train, which they do, occasionally. I wait, and wait some more. I can see some of the brick wall of the remand centre on the other side of the train yard sprawl. I tighten my backpack strap so there's no room for the cans to bounce and make noise. Supple, subtle muscle when I move. I step through the cyclone fence. To my right, through hazy light, is the low-hung box still called Spencer Street train station, before it got an undulating bubble for a roof. To my left are the snaking train tracks into North Melbourne Station. The tiny suburb of West Melbourne starts above the tracks, runs from Festival Hall, up to the Vic Market, left down to the Royal Melbourne Hospital and inwards after a few blocks for the square. There's a place called Train Spotters Lookout, above the tracks in West Melbourne, on Railway Place, a sliver of a street, lined with railway cottages. The Spotters Lookout was designed by the local council back in the mid-1990s, when local councils were making sculptures with incorporated elements of the landscape into their structure and placing them around the inner city. Bits of train parts, rusted metal, cyclone fencing and concrete were joined together to form a platform that absorbs a panorama of grinding industry stretching out towards the horizon. Flickering lights, iridescent, working-class memories. After looking left and right, I run across the tracks and make for a cosy little spot, back against a pillar, arm's length from the crinkled metal exterior of the train. Exposure time on the bolt, 5 or 6 seconds max. I open one of the train doors. I climb up into the empty carriage. It's a Connex train, dark blue exterior with yellow stripes through the blue. Similar colours inside, but with a lime green splatter pattern on every seat. The rain-slicked shadows stretch and ripple through the silent train carriages like the environment is a dream, but I couldn't be more real. Heightened in the present. My nervous system floods with cortisol. There are 6 carriages each, and I walk them to the end, eyes on the swivel, checking out the carriages of the train next to it in case anyone's there, stopping every now and then to absorb sensory information, flickering in, flickering out. I do the same thing with the train next door. Spencer Street Yard is my favourite place to paint. There are only ever 2 trains at one time, and when it rains, I get that rare feeling when painting a yard, a sense of security, albeit false, as rain doesn't deter the security guards. But the rain feels like protection, a guide, and of spiritual significance for an obsessive nighttime kid like me. I ease open a train door and climb down. I settle in a perfect spot in the aisle on the gravelly walkway between the 2 trains and get to work. Gold first, then green around the gold to create a background. Black outline next, and each letter comes into its own. The M takes shape, the O comes next, then the D. I add pastel green background, strategic clouds, bubbles. Paint creeps up the window, fresh blotches, notches on the belt. I add touches of sky blue to spots on the pastel background, adding depth, then make a glow with a white final and white highlights. I'm done. I put my paint away. I step back, but as the train next to me is basically an arm's length away, I can't see that much, only from an angle. So I open the door of the train directly opposite, sit in the door, and tap a pit of Stuyvesant out of my soft pack, smoke, legs dangling. I feel at home here. The wet lights and the drum of the rain on either side of me creates a wall of protection. Time slowing down in the heat of the moment. I finish my ciggy, get out my disposable camera, take a few snaps. Lightning flashes in a cave. I put the camera away, run back across the tracks, climb through the hole in the fence, across the road, up and onto the bridge I was just under, and walk as casually as I can back towards the CBD, turning left before the Remand Centre, in the direction of North Melbourne, through the rain.